Camp House wildfire is what it's being called, and that just continues to burn today. As you can see, at about 750 acres in St. Louis County. They are fighting it from the air and from the ground. There have also been some evacuations, including to a camp there. So it's something that started about 12:30 yesterday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. And if you know the area, maybe you've never heard of Brimson, but if you know the area, it's about 2 miles northeast of Brimson. But again, it's kind of hugging that St. Louis County, Lake County line, just west of the North Shore, just west of Split Rock, just west of Beaver Bay. Many of you will know those areas. So red flag warning, there it is right there. Thanks, Ryan, on the map. And you can see it's just right on the edge of Lake County. Taking some time out here. This is something that you do a lot. You watch these areas, you watch these conditions. So from your perspective, tell us kind of what you're seeing right now.
Well, what I can tell you, Amy, we are in some very critical fire weather, and we're in extreme fire danger, and it's just in a way for a while. We're in some very scary conditions, and before I came on the air with you, even there's been another wildfire in that area. They're shutting down a highway in order to begin a helicopter operations, and been monitoring a lot of the fire situation up here, and we have had numerous grass fires. People need to be extremely careful, and in some cases there have been fire officials who have said, really, just let's lay off any type of fires, campfires, because of the critical fire danger.
Yeah, and even if you've had something burning recently, keep an eye on it, because those can flare back up. That's great advice. Can you help us understand, Pete, kind of the area that we're talking about? We showed the map here just briefly, but for many folks obviously have been to the North Shore, so they're very familiar with that. But in relation to that, talk about the area where this Camp House fire is. How populated is that? You know, which direction is this fire moving? Because I think winds are from the south today, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, in talking to Sheriff Ramsey, and I know you're going to be him very soon, this fire moved very quickly from 200 acres up to 750 acres. This is a rather remote area, but you have a lot of cabins in this area. You have lakes in this area. And, you know, the big concern, obviously, and in talking to Sheriff Ramsey earlier, is overnight the fire did slow down, but it kept moving, and is expected to be into Lake County today. There is an aggressive fire attack taking place from both the air and ground. And last report, and I believe Sheriff will probably give you a better update, but the fire has not yet been contained. Again, this is a remote area. There are a lot of dead-end roads into this area. You know, and so far, 3 cabins and a garage have been lost. Sheriff Ramsey told me they anticipate they will find more structures, unfortunately, that have been destroyed. And this is absolutely heartbreaking, because in a lot of cases, these cabins and areas are family heirlooms. And last fall, we had a fire next door to us at our lake place on Lake Vermilion, and you know, we came very close to losing our cabin and our neighbor's cabin, and this is just absolutely heartbreaking for these people. And of course, the unknowingness of whether they have lost their properties or not. And I talked to a few folks down at the command center, and of course they're just worried sick about this fire. And again, it's not under control, although there's aggressive operations taking place. But you know, resources are getting stretched, and you know, again, we are in a very critical fire situation.
Yeah, and Pete, you know, this is, and again, we'll talk to Sheriff Ramsey here really shortly in a couple minutes to kind of get a little bit more of the logistics and things that are happening in real time on the ground. But from you, I'm curious, since this is something you do and you see and you watch these areas so closely and wildfires, how does this sort of compare to other wildfires that you have seen in recent years?
Well, I have been to some of the bigger ones, the Ham Lake fire, the Greenwood Lake fire. Compared to those which destroyed thousands of acres, this is a small fire, but no fire is insignificant. And this one here, ironically, I was talking to a colleague. This is not the only Mother's Day fire we have had over past history. There was a fire a number of years ago in the Tower, Minnesota, Lake Vermilion area, which looked like the city of Tower, population about 500, when it was stood right in the way of this. So we've had Mother's Day fires. Again, the ingredients are just right for these fires. Lack of rain, low humidities, and high winds. And, you know, you're looking for that perfect storm of fires.
Yeah.
But the Northland FireWire has been around for almost 40 years, and we've been covering everything from structure fires to apartment building fires to wildland fires. And again, I cannot emphasize, when you look at that map and it's all red and we're under red flag warnings, that, you know, we're in a dangerous situation here, and people just need to be extremely careful.
Okay, Pete, thank you. Last thing I just want to ask you about is the people. You had mentioned you spoke to some folks at the command center. How are the people doing that you've talked to? People seem to be evacuating safely. Where are they going? That kind of thing.
The evacuations are continuing. People in the area of this fire in the Brimson area are assembling or going to the Alt Township Hall. And Sheriff Ramsey did tell me that evacuations are continuing, you know, and until they get this fire contained. Obviously, that is very prudent. And I think people are not knowing what's impacting their properties, not knowing if they're going to come there, much like we saw in the fires in California, not knowing whether the family cabin or home that has been around for many years survived or didn't survive. And that unknowingness in itself, that uncertainty is very devastating and really mentally challenging.
Okay. Pete Makowski, the Northland FireWire. You can find them online. Again, they've been around for decades covering this sort of thing in northeastern Minnesota. Thank you for taking some time with us today. We really appreciate it.